So to make the booty, we just lie the towel diagonally and tuck the small side over and the long side around and fold the top bit over. Like that. Okay?
And away.
Okay, so we start off with 6 effleurage movements to the calf muscles. And then we go on to picking up to the lateral border of the lower leg 3 times. And then 3 lots of picking up to the medial border. Alternate picking up. Again 3 times. And follow that with flame. And soothe with some effleurage. Straighten out the leg, and then we form some effleurage to the front of the leg and lightly stretch the Achilles tendon. Deep knee, the tibialis anterior. Three times. Effleurage to the foot and ankle. Shake the tarsals. And the metatarsals. And then we perform spinal twist, which is like a ringing movement to the spinal reflex of the foot. Up and down the spinal reflex 3 times. And then thumb frictions to the plantar surface. Deep kneading to the inner longitudinal arch. And then we lung press using the fist. And as we press the respiratory area, get the client to breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. to slide the fist down the plantar surface of the foot. And toe grinding. From the little toe across to the big toe and back again. 3 times. Rotate the ankle 3 times in one direction and 3 times in the other direction. Stimulate the solar plexus. And finish with some light breeze strokes. And then we perform that massage to the client's left leg and foot. Okay, so the first movement that we do, we're performing to the spinal reflex, which is this line all the way down the foot, and then we also thumb walk in a fan shape. And so we start by pinpointing all the way down the spinal reflex. Tiny pinpoint circles. Doesn't matter which hand you use. So if you find halfway down the foot you need to swap thumbs, that's quite okay. Just don't lose contact with the foot. Then we thumb walk in this fan shape to the inside of the heel. Caterpillar-like movement. Thumb walk up and drag down. And then we thumb walk all the way back up the spinal reflex. We do that movement 3 times to each foot, alternately. So right, left, right, left, right, left. Next movement is the pinpointing to the lymphatic region. So we start on the little toe side and pinpoint down in between the metatarsals and drag back up. Move on to the next gap. And again we do that movement 3 times to each foot, alternately. This movement we perform this next sequence just once on each foot, and we start by 5 small thumb walks up the big toe pad and drag back down again. Thumb walk up and drag down. Thumb walk up and drag down. Thumb walk up, drag down. Thumb walk up, drag down. And then we reverse our thumb walk on the smaller toes. This movement's called hook and back up, 3 times on each of the smaller toes. It's like a reverse thumb walk. And we finish this sequence by draining the sinuses. We pull up and across, pull up and across, pull up and across, up and across. Make like an upside down L shape on these toes. Okay, so our thumb walk all the way around the soft border. We start just underneath the big toe pad. Start thumb walking down the spinal reflex. As far as we can around the heel with one thumb. Take over with the other one. Back to our starting point. And we do that 3 times to alternate feet. So right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot. This movement is the thumb walk diagonally across the lung area. So the ball of the foot represents or is also known as the respiratory zone. So we start down the bottom here, thumb walk into the center and drag back down. Thumb walk into the center and drag back down. Thumb walk in and drag back down. Other side, thumb walk in and drag back down. Thumb walk in and drag back down. Thumb walk in and drag back down. And we do that 3 times to each foot alternately. Then we just perform 6 effleurage movements to maintain warmth in the foot. So for the next movement, we find the ankle bones or the medial and lateral malleoli. We drag down 2 centimeters and we pinpoint circle with our index fingers. I then leave this finger in place so I know where I'm aiming for. Replace my index finger with my thumb and thumb walk over the top of the dorsum of the foot, working from ovary to uterus. And again, I do that 3 times to each foot alternately. Is the diagonal thumb walk in the upper digestive region. So the same sort of movement that we did up here, but in this section of the foot, the upper digestive region. Again, we're going to thumb walk up and drag down. Thumb walk up and drag down. Thumb walk up and drag down. Change hands. Thumb walk up and drag down. Thumb walk up, drag down, thumb walk up, and drag down. And then we thumb walk horizontally in the lower digestive region. So same caterpillar-like movement, but horizontally into the centre instead of diagonally. And again, we perform that 3 times to each foot alternately. And then, to complete the digestive area, what we're going to do is walk up the ascending colon on the client's right foot, across the transverse colon on the right foot, continue across the transverse colon on the left foot, and down the descending colon on the left foot. We do that movement 3 times. So just once more, up the ascending colon, across the transverse colon, continue across the transverse colon, and down the descending colon 3 times. Our next movement, we pinpoint the pituitary gland in the centre of the big toe pad, and we pinpoint the hypothalamus, which is inside the big toe next to the big toenail. And we pinpoint the adrenal gland, which is on top of the kidney here. Here's the kidney. On top of the kidney sits the adrenal gland, just above the waistline. And then we're going to thumb walk down the ureter from the kidney to the bladder, just in front of the heel. And we perform that sequence 3 times to each foot alternately. And then we complete our treatment by doing 6 effleurage to the foot, bend up the leg, and 6 effleurage to the lower leg.